Welcome back, friends, followers, and aviation enthusiasts. Today we are going to talk about a bug that has been in the simulator since the release until today and hasn't been fixed yet. And this is nothing else but the world map filters. You see, the problem with these filters is they are not persisted. So as soon as you set up anything here and restart the sim, you will be presented with the same state as right now. For example, if you turn off all these navigation aids, then restart the sim, they will be all on again. And that is because whatever you set up here is not persisted in the filter settings. There are a couple of ways how to handle this issue, and I'm gonna show you 3 different ways today. But let me say one thing: whenever you change anything in the world map filters file that I'm gonna show you, you always have to restart the sim. You cannot do it right now and expect, if you load the filters, that they are there right away. And this has to do maybe with the way how the simulator handles the file. I think it's loaded at startup and cannot be loaded dynamically when the application is running. So starting up with the first, it is in the packages folder. So wherever your packages folder is, mine is on the D storage MSFS packages. You would go to official and then one store, go all the way down to FS Base and world maps, and there you can find the world map filters XML file. So what you are gonna do is right click it, edit it with your editor of your liking. Mine is Notepad++, and you are gonna go all the way down to the section where you can find the navigation section, and this is the airspaces section. You just type in off right here, and the same for the navigation aids here, and the same for the RNAV fixes. So you type them in, save the file, reload the sim, and then you will have your filters set up to off. Now, of course, the sim is loaded, that's why you don't see that, but this is the way how it works. The problem with this approach is, of course, you need to understand XML, you need to understand the structure of the file, you need to know where to find certain things like, do I need water runways, which are at the top right here. If you don't want water runways, you would search for this section, runway water, and turn it off. Alright, so this is fine, but like I said, it requires a little of knowledge about XML and how the file is structured. The second way how to change the filters is there is an add-on which is from JD, and that is nothing less but this one, JD's World Map Filter presets. These are presets that you can easily download and extract, and then if you extract them, you will have these 4 different preset folders which you can just copy over to your community folder. And downside of this, of course, is you don't exactly know what is inside all of these filters, what is set up, what is turned on, what is turned off. That's the downside. It's easy, you can even extend it by using your own folders, and for example, if you would like to do a filter yourself, you just do something like this. You would say, okay, this is my number 5 and this is my setting all turned off, which doesn't make any sense, but just for the purpose of demonstration. Then you would go to world map and, like before, edit this filter XML file and set everything to off, which is relevant for you. Downside of this, of course, like I said, is same thing as before. You need to understand XML, you need to know how the file is structured, and you need to know, or at least memorize, what exactly is in this preset folder, with what is set up and what not. Of course, all turned off is very easy. You directly know everything is turned off. but something like this is air sports, spaces, nav 8s, airnav, no POIs, could mislead you in one or more ways. Which brings us to my last and my favorite solution, and that is this repository right here, MSFS 2020 World Map Filters. What you're gonna do is go to the releases section, download the zip file, then extract that zip file, which will look like this. And let me explain to you what this actually does. There's a backup folder where the initial World Map Filters file is located. You can put your own XML file in there if you want just to back it up, or you can put it anywhere you like in the downloads folder, documents, and whatever. And what it does is fairly simple. It finds out whether you have a Steam or Microsoft Store edition of the simulator, and then if it finds out which one you are using, it looks for a file which is called user-config-opt. And this file, for me, I have the MS Store version. This file is in your installation path under local cache and then user-config-opt. What this file is including, there are a couple of settings like video settings, graphic settings, and stuff like that, but the most important thing for me right now is this section here, installed packages path. Here you can set up your own packages path if you want the community folder or the official and community folder stuff to a different location. For me, it's the MSFS packages like I showed you before. And if you go to that location, it takes a look at the location of the file, which I showed you previously, fsbase world map xml. And it reads the file and prompts the user to enter some settings. And this is inspired by the FSLTL Traffic Injector, which we all know. If you start that up, you will be asked a couple of questions if you want to set up anything or change anything. Let's just say yes. Max active IFR aircraft is currently 10, I want 5. Max active VFR is currently 0, I want 5, and so on and so forth. This is the inspiration of this script that I wrote, and let me just close that up. If you do that with the World Map Filters, it's a PowerShell script. You just need to right click it, run with PowerShell, and then let's take a look at that together. So it checks for the user config opt in the following locations. Steam path should be this one, Windows Store path should be the other one. It found the user config at the Windows Store path. It found an installed packages path like I showed you before. It takes a look for the XML file at this location here, which I showed you also, and it loaded the XML successfully. And now it asks you a couple of questions. Airports, 1 for off, 1 for on, 0 for off. If you want to keep the current selection, which is on, you just hit enter. So let's type in on, enter. Hard runways, let's keep it that way. Grass runway, let's keep it that way. Water runway, on. Let's turn that on. Snow runway is currently on, let's keep it that way. And dirt runway is on, keep it that way. Heli runway, I don't need that. Other runway, I don't need that either. Glider friendly, I don't need that either. Heliports, again, off. Landmarks are on. Cities are on. Fauna is now off. Airspaces are off. Let's keep it that way. Nav 8s are off and RNAV fixes are off. Let's keep it that way. Now it's done. It has taken all the values that the user entered and updated the XML file successfully. If you want to exit, just type anything. Type or hit enter, for example. And now then it closes. What you now need to do is, of course, you can do it while the simulator is running, but you won't have the effect directly. Like I said before, you need to restart the sim and see if that's really set up that way. So let's just restart it and I'll be back soon. Alright, so back in the simulator, let's go into the world map and to the filters section to check out what we just set up. Let me just close this map section. So, like I said before, heliports off, other runways off, glider friendly off, heliports off. Everything seems to be working just fine, fauna off, and all the navigation aids are off. Simple tool, and I think this is the most easy and user-friendly way to set up your filters. One simple but important addition is if you have installed the simulator to a different location other than the default one. For example, if you have installed it in this one, at this location right here, you would just simply copy this path, go over to the script, right click it, edit the file, and then at the top you have these two variables, Steam config path and Windows Store path. You would enter the path inside the quotes, but without overriding this value here, user config opt, and do the same for the one below, and then you are good to go. There are of course a couple of limitations, and I'm gonna show you what the limitations are. Like I said before, the user needs to set up the file before starting the sim. This is due to the way this file is handled, and I think it's loaded at startup. Second thing is, I only tested this with the Microsoft Store version of the simulator. If you guys have a Steam version, please test that, provide me feedback. I will be happy to update the script accordingly. And currently only these sections are supported: the airport section, heliport, points of interest, and navigation. And this is due to the fact that these types are only on-off filters. For if you compare that with the background map, it has some satellite, blend, IFR, or the weather layer has clouds off or precipitation. Wind effect same, off, high, low, or ground air. Due to the fact that these are not on-off filters, I only implemented these for these 4 sections down below. I personally do not change any of that. And the last thing is, of course, Simulator 2024 is not supported yet, as no one knows how the format will look like, or even if it's necessary to use that script. They might have fixed the issue, we don't know, fingers crossed. I hope they did. Yeah, so like I said before, I'm always happy to get feedback. Please guys, test this script out, give me some feedback. I'm gonna put a link in the description to that repository, and I hope this video was helpful and you enjoyed the video. Please leave a like, write a comment, give me feedback about your experience with this script, and make sure to subscribe to the channel, and I hope to see you guys very soon.